All right, let's talk about fear, but I want you to think about it in a totally new way. We're going to explore how to read it not as something that's supposed to stop you, but as something that's actually trying to guide you.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? That little knot in your stomach, that tightening in your chest, it always shows up right before you do something big. A new job, a tough conversation, launching that project. It's that hesitation, right on the edge of something that could change absolutely everything. For our whole lives, we've been taught to see that feeling as a warning sign, a big red alarm telling us to back off, to retreat to safety. But what if that's completely backward? What if fear isn't a wall at all? What if it's a signpost?
Here's the big idea. Think of it this way. Fear is your personal compass. It doesn't bother showing up for the small, easy stuff. It only activates when you're getting close to something that genuinely matters, something that has the potential for real, meaningful growth.
Okay, so let's really dig into this. We have to completely shift how we see this thing. It's not about treating fear like an enemy anymore. It's about learning to see it as an incredibly useful, if, yeah, sometimes uncomfortable guide. Look at this contrast. It says it all. On one side, you've got the old view we all know. Fear is a stop sign, an alarm telling you to turn back. But on the other side, the new view, it's a compass. It's a signal that you've reached a threshold. It's not yelling stop, it's whispering, pay attention. This is where the good stuff is.
Mark Twain said, the two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. And that second day, that day you find your why, well, that's almost always surrounded by fear. Fear is like the moat around the castle of your purpose. So when you feel it, it's a sign you're getting very, very close to what you're here to do.
So if fear itself isn't the problem, then what is? Well, it turns out the real enemy isn't the feeling of fear. It's the space we give it to grow. Now, this right here, this is a total game changer. We think we pause because we're afraid. But what if it's the other way around? As the Iceman Wim Hof says, it's the hesitation, the pause itself, that acts like a greenhouse for dread. It lets our imagination spin out of control. So the cure isn't to wait for the fear to disappear. The cure is to act. Okay, so how do we act? Seth Godin has this brilliant analogy. You can't force fruit flies to suddenly appear. It doesn't work that way. But what you can do is put a ripe banana on the windowsill. You just create the conditions for change. You don't have to conquer your fear in one giant heroic leap. Just take one small, deliberate step, place the banana, and see what happens next. And what about the fear that comes from other people? The fear of judgment, of criticism. Michael J. Kilby gives us the perfect mindset for that. Don't see those stones people throw at you as weapons. See them as building materials. Every important creation in history faced opposition. Use it. Let it make your foundation even stronger. And this is where it gets really serious. The stakes are incredibly high here, because when we hesitate, we're wasting our most precious, absolutely non-renewable resource, our time. Cervantes put it so bluntly, but man, is he right. You can bounce back from a failed business. You can fix a mistake. You can repair almost anything. But you can never, ever get back the time you spent just waiting, the time you let fear keep you on the sidelines. So how do we stop wasting it? Listen to this amazing piece of advice. Lisa Nichols' grandmother told her, at your age, your job is to live a life worth talking about. Think about that. It's not about living a perfect life or avoiding risk. It's about getting out there and creating stories, creating meaning. Your job, right now, is to live that life. And this really drives the point home. Look at what fear actually robs from us. Yeah, it steals opportunity, it steals confidence, but its greatest theft, by a huge margin, is our time. And as Seth Godin says, time is the fuel. Without it, nothing gets built. And hesitation just burns that fuel for nothing. So if the answer is action, what does that action actually look like? This is where we move from just understanding fear to the actual practice of courage. And remember, this is key. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting right in the middle of it. Sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is just get a new perspective. The management expert Peter Drucker said a business can't really know itself from the inside. It has to see itself from the customer's point of view. Well, the same is true for us. To understand what our fear is pointing to, sometimes we have to step outside of ourselves and see what matters to the world we want to serve. And this is huge. Leo Tolstoy wrote, "Future love does not exist. Love is a present activity only."
That project you're terrified isn't good enough, that's the very thing that needs your love and your attention right now, not someday, today. Action is a form of love, and pouring that active love into your work is the most powerful antidote to fear there is.
And here's an act of courage we don't talk about enough: forgiveness. Holding on to old grudges is really just fear in disguise, fear of getting hurt again. But forgiveness, that's a conscious choice to let go of that fear, to choose your future over your past wounds. It frees up your hands to build what's next. Okay, let's bring this all home. This is maybe the single most important, most practical takeaway from everything we've talked about. So here it is. Stop wrestling with your fear. Stop arguing with it, trying to beat it into submission. That's a total waste of energy. Just acknowledge it's there, listen to what it's pointing at, and then redirect all of your focus toward building that new thing. And if you're feeling completely overwhelmed, like the fear is just too big to handle, this is the answer. Make the action small. Make it immediate. The response to a huge, terrifying challenge isn't some huge, terrifying master plan. It's one small, manageable step, taken right now. Just feed one.
So what's your practice? What do you actually do tomorrow? It's these 4 things. 1, listen to the fear. It's your compass. 2, use any criticism you get as your foundation. 3, take the small step. Put the ripe banana on the windowsill. And 4, give your love and your energy to what matters right now.
And just remember this simple, profound truth. Every single day is a fresh start. It's a brand new chance to listen to that compass and choose to build something, no matter how small.
So I'll just leave you with this question. Your fear is already there. It's already doing its job, pointing towards something that matters deeply to you. The only question left is, where will you build?